3, 2, 1. Take it away.
All right, time to get started, everybody. I'm Kiki Clark. I'll be the MC for today's event. I've lived in Novato my whole life and been voting since George Bush was the most unlikely person ever to be elected president. Oh, the good old days. So first, some housekeeping. The restrooms are over here. There's a sign if anyone needs to use them. The drinks are in the back there, and there's some snacks on the tables if you need them. And that's the end of the housekeeping. So a word about United We Can. United We Can is a group of friends coming together to find meaningful ways to blunt the madness and stop the Trump takeover. We hope you can join. Showing up here today is a good thing. Voting yes on 50 is also a good thing. And if you can display a sign or phone bank or donate to stopelectionrigging.com, those are all good things. Now let's get to our first presenter, Carleen Cullen, a co-founder of United We Can. In 2007, she and her husband, Jeff, co-founded Cool the Earth. It began as a way for kids to learn about the environment and environmental stewardship, and then bring their lessons home from school to their families. Carleen will be introduced by Mariana. She's a 6th grader at San Jose Middle School here in Novato. Everyone, please welcome Mariana.
Hi, everybody. As you heard, Carleen Cullen founded a nonprofit called Cool the Earth back in 2007. That was many years before I was born. I'm grateful to Carleen and all the other climate activists for all the work they do. At my house, we work hard to be careful with the environment. My mom is a really good gardener and taught me how to be careful with good soil, clean air, and be careful with the water. Thanks to my mom and my dad and all the others who are good stewards to our future. Now please welcome Carleen Cullen.
Okay, hi everyone, and really grateful to be here, and thanks for the introductions. Although I started this a long time before you were born, that makes me feel really old. So, and by now I thought we would have resolved the climate change issue. So first, just thanks to Kevin and Kiki for bringing this all together, and amazing job. So thanks to them. So as was said before, I started this nonprofit, Cool the Earth, after I had seen the Al Gore film. And my husband and I went out on a date night and thought, let's go see this film. And it radically changed our lives. And so I ended up being trained by Al Gore in one of his big trainings. And it really helped motivate me to continue to do more. And that's part of United We Can also, is motivating people to get involved, because we all were sitting at our homes, fretting about the news and what was happening, and, just couldn't believe things. Like for me, educational systems, I had no idea that the executive had that much power over our educational systems. And I was expecting certain things from, we knew from Trump 1, but this is really just, as we all know, over the top. So in speaking with different people, and a lot of us talking about, gosh, what can we do? We decided to group together, and it started to feel like we had some hope and that we could start to make some change. So this is part of it, having a Yes for 50, Yes on 50 event, and really getting the word out. We all know that we're all for Yes on 50, but we really need to make sure that people are turning in their ballots. If we have enough Democrats turning in their ballots, we know that we will win this proposition, this really important proposition. So really getting out there and making sure that we're doing that work. When I started Cool the Earth about 3 years in, I had thought at that point that, by the time more science was out there and the word was out there, that we would come together as a country and really make a big change. And then that didn't happen. And I remember putting, as a speaker up at Chabot Science Center in Oakland, and I remember putting up on the slide the elected officials who were believing in climate change, acknowledged the science, and really recommended we do something. And on the other side, the elected officials, the politicians who didn't believe in climate change, didn't even acknowledge it at that point. And as you can guess, one side was all Democrats and the other side was all Republicans. And I had kind of developed this thought that by the time, at the latest, by the time climate impacts became obvious to all of us, by the time we saw hurricane after hurricane and fire after fire and extreme heat events, I had thought, well, that's going to be the point where our politicians are going to finally say, yes, we are going to do something. And as we all know, we've gone backwards now. So we need Prop 50 as both a way to kind of stop the madness. We need to level the playing field, to have the House of Representatives, that we will be able to take back the House of Representatives. Yes, yeah. Yes. That was Roxy barking. Roxy even agrees. And that's just the first step. And I think all of us supporting our elected officials, hear all the time that, well, we want them to do more, and we all need to do more. They need to hear from us. They're people too. And so they need to know that we're behind them and that we're motivated to help get the word out and help them get their agenda, the Democratic agenda, pushed forward. So I'm going to leave it at that. And thank you all once again. And I'm turning it over to Kiki.
All right, give it up for Carlene. Thank you. That was great. It's my pleasure to now introduce Kevin Morrison. Kevin was born in Marin and grew up in this very house. His parents were both hard-working Democrats, and that rubbed off on Kevin. He volunteered and campaigned for a progressive candidate for state assembly when he was only 14 years old. 50 years later, he's still working to ensure that future generations will have a better life because of enlightened leaders. Kevin.
I will start by telling you, even though I talk slow and move slow, nothing hurts, and I feel like I'm going to outlive you all. Maybe not a Mariana, but I am so pleased that you are here and you live stream audience are here. I got diagnosed with ALS the same month Trump announced that he was disinvesting on science, medical research. Harvard had 2 programs that were researching ALS. And that's just me. Multiply me by millions of people who have cancer, who have heart disease. That's one reason to change our regime. But beyond that, I want to say thank you again. Tell your friends and neighbors about Prop 50. Get them to vote. And thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you for hosting this event as well. So our next speaker is Jackie Elward, and Jackie is a Roanoke Park councilwoman. She's an educator, a labor organizer, and an immigrant with deep roots in the North Bay. She is running for state assembly in District 12, our district here, and she is one of those enlightened leaders who Kevin has always championed. And Jackie will be introduced by Angelina, a sophomore at Tamalpais High School. Everyone, please welcome Angelina.
I am really happy to introduce Jackie. Jackie Elward. She is an advocate who is devoted to making our country better as an educator, environmentalist, and labor organizer. As someone who is very passionate about climate change, I really find her work very important to me, and I think it's just an endeavor that all people should be very interested in. She's done amazing work in her career, and I'm happy to introduce her to speak. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Well, you guys are enthusiasts. Hi. How are you guys? Today was so great. I am so thankful. Thank you for introducing me, because my campaign is all about the next generation and having someone young. You guys are our future. That really means a lot. Someone that spends so much time in classroom and try to educate our children to think for themselves. So thank you so much for introducing me. Going to the leeway, today is a very emotional day for me, because not only I just received the California Teachers Association endorsement, I also got a call from my daughter. She got engaged. So talking about really hard work and seeing the result. So I want to take some time to thank the organizers. Kevin, thank you so much for the invitation and for having me here tonight. I strongly believe that we are here because we are trying to help people to understand the importance of Prop 50. As an immigrant from the Democratic Republic of Congo, I came to this country believing in freedom, fairness, and opportunity. And I know that a lot of us here in America, we have been so isolated that we feel like it's not going to happen to us, the changes that is coming. Democracy is really fragile. Once it's gone, it never comes back. Never. It's very hard to bring it back. That's why I care so deeply about protecting the right to vote and the promise of equal representation here in California. It is very important. I lost my father. He was a consumer attorney, and he spent his own life fighting for people, advocating for them. And at the end of the day, he lost his life for doing the right thing. And that's because under authoritarian regime, when you speak against the government, your life is taken away any way possible, shape, and form. And my dad paid the price. And today I'm finding myself fighting and doing what he did for many years. Prop 50 is about making sure that every community, including immigrant and working class community, has a voice that counts. And it is very important. While some states are silencing voters, like Texas, gerrymandering and through suppression, California is choosing a different path. And I'm trying to tell people that even though you disagree with what is happening, but look at the bigger picture, because Texas didn't give their constituent the chance to even vote for it. They just went against the constituent will, took 50 spots for Republicans, and that's going to hurt us if we don't pass Prop 50. So, and I tell people that this is not about being blue or red or orange or green, because once you have someone very unhinged, that the president that we have, it's only a matter of time that it gets to you. Now the target are immigrants, the target are black, the targets are LGBTQ community. Next will be the same people supporting him. So he's coming after. Just it's the Project 2025 is the book that he's following. So for me, it doesn't matter. Right now, I'm telling people, vote yes, because it is temporary. It's not taking any vote away from anybody. It is fighting back against what Texas is doing. All the red states right now are aligning with this government on taking away votes. So California right now is the hope, because the world is watching of what California is doing. If we fail with Prop 50, we also going to fail for the 2026. That's how dire this proposition is important. I'm asking to you to talk to your neighbors, family, friends, co-workers. Let them know what's at stake. You see, America has been in a bubble for so many years, and that bubble is already poked and leaking slowly. And soon enough, after November 4th, if we don't take care of this proposition, that hole is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm going to give you an example of the Democratic Republic of Congo, because I am a living proof of what could happen. When I came here in the US, and when 2024 election was happening, the rhetoric that the Trump administration was putting forward was, well, we're gonna be a third world country. Guess what? That's what he's doing. Are we gonna bring our criminals here? That's what he's doing. He's taking our criminals, bringing them to other countries. And now, apparently, we don't have money to help people with Medicaid, and he's cutting a important research program that we need to help people like my friend Kevin, like those that are dealing with cancer, or even for kids. As an educator, a lot of our kids are struggling right now in school. We don't have the money to help our own, but we do have the money to send to countries like South America countries. For what? We don't know. And we know that those dictators over there are not helping their own, but we are able to send 40 million or even more to those countries, which doesn't make sense. So what I'm asking to people is, I want you to let your friends, everybody know that yes on Prop 50 is a vote for fairness, inclusion, and a representation for everyone. And when I say everyone, it's everyone. So we need to stand. Today, the people that are for the no on Prop 50 will regret, because guess what? We see it already in a red state where the farmers are already feeling that pain of this particular government. You see, when government starts going after you, they take your free speech away. America is loved in the world because of our free speech. And this is what this administration is forcefully going after. We see it's going after all the news, right? The news organization is going after education. We see how slowly, but he's so unhinged that nobody knows how to deal with him. Guess what? Yes, on Prop 50 will stand on his face because it's for the people, by the people, of the people. So what I'm going to ask you tonight, is to stand for democracy. Stand for democracy. Democracy has a price. And when you stand for it, it's not easy though, but when you stand for it, you fight for it, you see the beauty of America. So California right now is the hope of America. The world is watching us. So I would thank you for standing up for democracy, for immigrants, and every community that deserves to be heard. And I'm going to look at our youngsters that are here. You are our hope. You are our future. A lot of time, we don't listen to you. And I have to say, I'm sorry. Now is the time. You guys have been screaming and telling us for so many years to listen to the young folks. And now we are finding ourselves to that point. As a mother from Africa, I know a lot of times, I grew up in a household where you have to listen to your parent. And I'm not asking you not to disrespect your parents. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this time is your time. You have to get out and talk to your friend and those that don't understand what is happening. America has given me that freedom to be here and to even learn English and to stand in front of you and fight for that freedom. If you think that you are able to go to school and easily go to school, imagine getting in a car, going to school, and probably not coming home. That is what at stake. That is what is coming. That is what is already here. So to us, my brothers and sisters, I understand we have so much. A lot of time we think that when someone looks different, we cannot listen to them. But I beg you, what you have seen for so many years, this bubble that we have been, is already gone. We have the last bit of it. So please continue this. As much as for me, I get death threat. I get people putting my house, my phone number on social media. Some want me killed. Some want me to be deported. Guess what? I'm not giving up on this piece of freedom that is left, because once it's gone, they're going to come after all of us. Yes, on Proposition 50 is the future of America. Thank you.
All right, everyone, give it up for Jackie Elward. Thank you so much. It's now my pleasure to talk about Dr. Pamela Ling. Dr. Ling is internationally known for her research in tobacco-related and related to tobacco marketing, tobacco industry strategies, and targeting youth and young adults, marketing of novel products of tobacco, and novel interventions to prevent smoking and promote cessation among priority populations. Sorry, that was a mouthful. She obviously has a very important job. She's the director of the UCSF Center for Tobacco Control Research and Education, and she's an experienced transdisciplinary mentor for early career researchers from a variety of fields. Dr. Ling will be introduced by Hadley. Hadley is a sophomore at San Marin High School. Everyone, please welcome Hadley.
I'm not Hadley.
I think we have somebody stepping in for Hadley.
Yes. And the speaker's name is?
So you are introducing Dr. Ling.
Okay. Well,
This mic's right here.
yeah, this is a great event, Kevin. Thanks for putting this on. My daughter Hadley was asked to introduce Carla Cullen, and I have a little couple of things to say about this person. Where is Carla here? Carla
no.
Cullen? No. Okay. So
Uh,
she was prepared to introduce Carla. So Dr. Ling is going to give us a little talk, and yeah, I'm sure she'll have a lot more important things to say about her than I could ever imagine or make up. So, Doctor, thank you.
That's okay. I can introduce myself. So hi everyone. Thank you, Kevin, for inviting me. Thanks to Michelle, my sister. I am Pam Ling, and I'm speaking on behalf of myself and not the university. But I'm here for three reasons. One is because I'm a scientist, right? And we need Prop 50 because we desperately need leaders who are going to defend science, right? We need leaders who are going to fund the National Institutes of Health, the NIH, right? The Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, the EPA. And we need leaders in these agencies who actually have correct scientific experience and expertise and not political appointees. Prop 50 will help us have those leaders. Second, I'm a university professor, right? And we need Prop 50 because we desperately need leaders who are going to support our universities, right? The universities of the US really traditionally have led the world, right? And even here in California, right? The University of California has been the crown jewel of our educational system. And we need leaders who will support the universities, not hold, University of California is currently being held hostage for $1 billion, right? We need leaders who will really celebrate our universities, defend them, and nurture them, not disparage them. University of California just recently had 5 scientists awarded the Nobel Prize in medicine and science. And my dean who announced this said, these breakthroughs that capture the headlines are built on countless hours of meticulous work, supportive infrastructure, compassionate mentorship, and the dedication of entire teams who are working towards shared goals. Those are the principles of the University of California, and those are the kinds of places that we need to support, and we need leaders who recognize that and will nurture those environments. The third reason I'm here is because I'm a doctor. So I'm a practicing general internist. I see patients. The good thing about being in internal medicine is that middle age is like 80s. And if you're in your 60s, you're a young person in my practice. And if you're 100, you're getting kind of old. Right now, medical practice is very difficult. We have patients who are scared to come to the clinic because of their immigration status. I have all kinds of patients who don't know if they're going to get their vaccines. They don't know if they're going to get their treatments. And we've already started to change the way we prescribe medicines because we're worried about coverage and whether the coverage for people's medicines are going to continue. We desperately need leaders who will defend healthcare for all of our people. And is this working okay?
yeah.
We need leaders who will defend healthcare and defend public health. Do I need to wait here for a second? Keep going. All right.
Yeah.
Those are my 3 reasons, right? But the last thing is just because I'm also here in part because of my sister and also because I'm a mom, right? And I really want my kids to have leaders who demonstrate compassion and who celebrate diversity and who show kindness, right? Kindness to each other, kindness to the planet. And I also want to show my kids when you see something that is not going right, you can fight back, right? And if you can't vote yet, your parents are going to fight back. And in California, Prop 50 says California is fighting back and we can lead the world. So let's fight back for California. Yes on Prop 50.
All right, let's give it up for Dr. Ling. Thank you so much. That was great. It's now my pleasure to introduce Ernest Galvin. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Ernie is a partner at, this is going to be a tough one, Rosen, Bien, Galvin, and Grunfeld, LLP. He has successfully briefed and argued cases in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court of California. He has spoken on constitutional law and policy issues at hearings, seminars, and conferences presented by the California State Assembly, the American Constitution Society, George Washington University Law School, Baltall School of Law, Georgetown Law Center, and Yale Law School. Everyone, please welcome Ernest Galvin.
Thank you, Kiki. Okay, I promised myself I would do half gloom and half hope. So when I get to the halfway point, if I'm still gloomy, somebody throw something at me. We are in a struggle to keep the horrible from becoming normal. We're in a struggle over what are the norms of a democracy, of a democratic republic like ours. I'm 63 years old. I grew up in a time when I was a young person, I got to see a society struggling over democratic norms. And while not perfect, while still highly imperfect society in which many people suffered needlessly, I still saw some triumphs as a young person. I saw the independence and integrity of the United States Department of Justice. Young DOJ lawyers went to the South and risked their lives for voting rights. I saw the Department of Justice hold firm against the Nixon enemies list. Now, we see the Department of Justice hollowed out and turned into a private enforcement arm for MAGA and Trump. When I learned civics, I learned that Congress had the power over government spending. That when Ronald Reagan was elected when I was 18, and he tried to hollow out the federal government, the Democratic Congress softened the blows. They were still horrible, but they weren't as horrible as they could have been because the Congress exerted its power under the Constitution over spending. Now I get to the really hard norms to lose. The right to be in the world free from kidnapping by state agents.
That's right.
Every day we're being pounded by videos. It's no accident that these videos are so accessible. The administration itself puts them there to pound into our heads that it's normal to walk the streets and in fear of agents of the state disappearing you. That is not normal. Okay? If you're here and you're under 21 and your frontal cortex is still forming, please take this message in. It is not normal. It is not acceptable. You should expect your elders to fight against that and not to leave you a world where that's normal. It was normal that if you're arrested, you have the right to appear before a neutral magistrate and the right to an attorney to defend you. It is not normal that we are sending people to detention centers in the middle of nowhere. It was normal to have a right to a voice in free and fair elections and to not have your voice diluted by tricks like mid-census redistricting. Those old norms are mostly gone. You know, they weren't good enough anyway. We need better norms. We need stronger norms. It wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough to have Justice Department lawyers go to the South and ensure voting rights We should have had economic rights. We should have had social rights like Dr. King fought for at the end of his life. We should have better norms. It wasn't enough for Congress to just blunt the effect of Reagan's cuts. Congress should have stopped them altogether. And so I hope, I'm switching to hope now. I hope that the mobilization represented yesterday in the No Kings rally and by events like this all over California will energize voters to bring us leaders like Jackie Elword, who I'd never met before, but whose speech was incredibly inspiring. And I think if we can elect leaders like Jackie Elword, put them in office, and hold them accountable, we could build new norms. We could build better norms. There's one norm I didn't mention. It was a big D Democratic norm that we all got used to, which was that big D Democrats don't fight back. That old norm needs to be eroded, maybe something faster than erosion. How about exploded? That norm needs to be exploded. And you're going to all ask yourselves years from now, where were you when the old norm of Democratic fecklessness got exploded? Where were you? You were taking your ballot to the drop box for yes on 50, and you were making sure your neighbor did it too. Don't miss out. Have some FOMO. Don't miss out on blowing up that old norm. And let's make some new democratic norms. How about freedom from fear? Freedom from the fear of guns on our streets and in our schools. How about freedom from the fear of medical bankruptcy? How about health insurance for all? How about freedom from poverty, even when you work? Current leadership is taking us toward feudal capitalism, in which we're all essentially serfs for a few billionaires. We can stop that. We will stop that. I have hope. Freedom from corporate money in elections. We can overturn Citizens United. We can get rid of that. Freedom to love and make your own family. This gives me the most hope. I mean, I remember in 2003 when the Massachusetts Supreme Court brought about marriage equality, worrying that it wouldn't work. But we had leaders. We had leaders who defied the common wisdom and enacted marriage equality anyway. And we lost some elections. We lost Prop 8 here, but we won in the long term because we fought. And that's hopeful. Freedom from ignorance and the right to benefit from science, from medicine, from vaccines, from the fight against climate change. You young people who came here, you deserve the right to benefit equally from the most advanced scientific establishment in the world. And we can bring it back. It's not too late. But we don't get to make any of those new norms until we first establish the new norm of fighting back. So give up the gloom, stand for hope. Yes on Prop 50. Thank you.
All right, everyone, give it up for Ernie. Thank you. So it is now my pleasure to introduce Patty Hoyt. And Patty is a good troublemaker. In fact, she's the essence of good trouble. Please welcome Patty Hoyt.
I'm also very loud and I'm not going to need the mic to work. So I'm honored to be here today, although how I got designated the cleanup hitter is a mystery to me. You'll have to cut me some slack because I'm just a tad tired from organizing the No Kings Yes on 50 rally yesterday on the fairgrounds. In case you hadn't heard, we had 5,863 people at the Civic Center, including some of you here today. Throughout Marin, more than 10,000 of us showed up. That means we exceeded that 3.5% threshold that social researchers say is the tipping point for toppling dictators. Here in Marin, we did that. And that's what we need to do. And one way we in California are doing just that, working to topple this wannabe king and the merry band of fascists he has, is through getting Prop 50 passed. That's the short-term goal with huge long-term benefits. Passing Prop 50 means California stands to gain 5 additional seats in Congress come the midterms. I won't dwell on the hard work that's going to come after Prop 50 passes. Psst, we still have to get the Democrats elected into those 5 seats. Instead, I want you to imagine that we do gain those seats and that House Republicans throughout the country are overwhelmingly dealt loss after loss, and we take back the House. Yay. Close your eyes. Imagine it is January 3rd, 2027. Look, there's a Democrat with a spine elected as Speaker of the House. Thunderous applause breaks out throughout the country. Okay, get your eyes open again if they're not. What can a Democratic House do? With a House majority, Democrats will be able to pass legislation that undoes all the horrors that this administration has implemented and continues to implement. We can ensure 17 million Americans don't get kicked off their health insurance. We can once again start funding critical research in universities and restaff the CDC with real scientists. We can dismantle ICE and stop the horrific Gestapo-style tactics in our cities, our fields, and our courthouses. We can work toward expanding SCOTUS. We can do so much, and then we can do more. Getting Prop 50 passed and paving the way for a Democratic majority in Congress gives us this little thing called oversight. It stops harmful federal overreach by Trump, and having more members of Congress who resist that federal overreach increases the chance those efforts will be blocked or curtailed. We can stop it. Yes on 50 also signals political will, something I'm ashamed to say too many Democrats are lacking. I like your new norm. Fight back. A yes on 50, like any electoral outcome, reflects political priorities. If more voters elect representatives committed to democratic norms, that in turn shapes which bills get attention. Our priorities become their priorities. So let's make out our priority for the next 16 days to get Prop 50 passed. Let's leave here newly energized to do, as Pastor Floyd said yesterday at the rally, fight the power. Yes on 50.
Thank you, Patty. So yes, everyone remember, you do have a opportunity to vote, and please do. And thank you so much for coming to this event. So for our final shot here, we're going to have everybody look up at the sky, and we're going to have this drone go up to shoot a video as everyone says yes on 50. So
just a bit of a delay while I fix the sign.
Yeah, she's going to move the sign on the roof because it blew over halfway through. But for everyone who was watching online, we're sorry we can't quite get you in the picture. Thank you for coming. And remember, the sky's the limit when we work together. All right, everyone vote, please. Yes on 50. And here goes the drone.
Where are we looking to?
Well, the
Fuzzy
drone.
thing?
Yeah. Soon to rise drone.
Stand up,
You guys want to come forward?
grab a sign if you can.
Hold this.
Yeah, right. I can see it.
Oh, we missed the closest.
Everybody come in close. Come in close. Come in close. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Fresh air.
You want to take it off? I don't know.
It's tied on, so.
Killing me.
No stressing out there, Kev. Remember, it worked at the test.
What would the Wright brothers have
Started
Not had a
pedaling.
live audience.
done? That's true. They went out to the most isolated beach they could find.
Oh, it is up there.
Oh!
Yes,
Oh my
No
God.
kings. Yes on
Oh my
50.
God.
We're coming back down.
another chance.
No kings, yes on 50. No
Yes,
kings, yes on 50.
Yes on 50. No kings. Yes on 50.
No
Roxy's joining in.
Yes on 50.
Yes on 50.
Yes on 50.
And we're done.
You have to get drinks. There's plenty of them. And there's 3 signs available. If anybody wants one of those.
I love the remark.